Hello and welcome to Word of Torah. Today we're going to be looking at suffixes, which are letters added to the end of the word to change the meaning. One of the uses of this is to pluralize things, other things is to show ownership, and when it comes to verbs, it can show who is doing the verb or who is being done to. The first word at the top of the list is yeled, which means a boy. The plural of boy is yeledim. So if you have all boys or a mixed group of boys and girls, you say yeledim. Female version of yeled is yelda. This is a girl. And if you have an exclusively female group of children, then you have yeldot. If you have a mixed group of boys and girls, the plural is yeledim. This is because the masculine plural in Hebrew is not really exclusively masculine. It's masculine or neutral. So when a group is exclusively male, it's yeledim, and also if it's a mixed group, it's yeledim, or if you don't know the gender of the group, it's yeledim. But if it is exclusively female, then the word is yeledot. Here is the word sus. Sus is a horse. The plural of horses is susim. If the horse is a boy, then it's sus, and if the group of horses are male, then it's susim. But a female horse is a susa. This is the word for mare, susa, and the plural of susa is susot. So if you have a mixed group of horses, then it's susim. Or if you don't know the gender of any of the horses, it's susim. If it's an exclusively female group of horses, the individual is a susa and the plural is susot. You can also pluralize the adjective. Good female horses would be susot tovot. Sus is horse, susa is mare, susot is mares, tov is good, tovot is the feminine plural of good. Here we have a couple of exceptions in the plurals. So susim is male or mixed horses. Susot is exclusively female horses, but there are some exceptions to this rule. The word for father is av, but the plural for fathers, you would expect it to be avim, but is actually avot. Now there's a long story behind this, we're not going to go into it today, but another example on the other side of the aisle is that the word for a woman or a wife is isha or eshet, but the plural is nishim, the im ending being the masculine or neutral ending. This is actually because it comes from a longer word, anashim, which means people, and over time it's been truncated just to mean women. So apart from very few examples, a mixed or masculine group is im, and an exclusively feminine group is ot. We can also use a suffix to relate to ownership or possession of an object. The word for possession or pertaining to is shel. So shelanu means ours. If something belongs to him, it's shelo, which is shel, pertaining to ownership, with a vav with a dot over it, and a vav with a dot over it makes an O sound. So when it's shelo, it's his. If it's hers, it's shelah. Just like sus became susa when it was feminized, shel becomes shelah when it's feminized. Hers is shelah, his is shelo, and ours is shelanu. If it's yours, then we use the consonants shin, lamed, chaf. But if you are male, I'll say shelcha, and if you are female, I'll say shalech. You can see on the bottom line, on the right-hand side, the vowel is before the chaf, and that's feminine, shalech. Yours if you're feminine. But if the vowel is after the chaf, it's shelcha, and that's yours if you're masculine. We can also truncate this and just use the chaf. So a dag is the Hebrew for fish. You just write dalet, gimel, chaf. Add in the nikudim, you can see on the right-hand side we have dareich, which is your fish if you're female, and dagcha, which is your fish if you're male. Here is an example with God with different endings. The word for God is Elohim. But if it's our God, it's Eloheinu. You see earlier on we had Shelanu was ours. Now it's Eloheinu. So Anu and Enu both mean ours. So Eloheinu is our God. If it's your God and you're male, then it'll be Eloheicha. We can also use a letter at the end of the word to mean of. If it's a yod and a tseire, the combination of this yod and this vowel tseire means of. So Elohei means God of. Now we can see the word avot, which we've learned earlier, means fathers, even though it has a female ending. And then we have the enu afterwards. So avoseinu means our fathers. Our is in the enu, ot makes it plural, and the av is the father, so our fathers. Elohei avoseinu means God of our fathers. Let's explore this shel a little bit further. Hashulchan sheli is my table, but what it literally means is the table of mine. The ha at the beginning of shulchan is the. Shulchan means table, shel means pertaining to, and the yod at the end with no tseire means mine. So a yod with no tzere means mine, a yod with a tzere means of. So hashulchan sheli is my table. Abba. Abba is father. So av and abba are the same word, means father. But Abba sheli is my father. The father pertaining to e. This yod is actually short for the last letter at the end of ani. So Abba sheli is my father, the father of mine. Well, I can shorten this, I can truncate it just to avi. Avi is my father. Av is father, and e relates to me. It's actually short for the word ani, which means I. We can also take the word ach. So ach is a brother. Achi is my brother. In order to have the feminine version of this, strangely, rather than saying acha, we say achot, which is the feminine plural ending. But you can use achot for one sister. So ach sheli is my brother. Achot sheli is my sister. Achi is my brother. Achoti is my sister. And at the bottom we have ima. Ima is mother. Ima sheli is my mother. And imi is my mummy. What about if it belongs to a group? Now in English we can just say yours. Yours doesn't tell us the gender of who it belongs to, and it doesn't tell us how many there are. We say yours for a single, we say yours for a plural. But in Hebrew, we can not only know the gender, but how many people are in the group. So sus is a horse. What if the horse belongs to a group of people? It's a family horse. Suschem is the ending if the horse belongs to a group of people who are either male or a mixed group. So susech is your horse if you're female. Suscha is your horse if you're male. Suschem is your horse if you are a mixed group or a masculine group. Torah is laws. So Torah Chem is your Torah to a mixed or masculine group. Well, the Chem ending relates to masculine or neutral. But if we make it a Chen ending with a final nun, Sus Chen or Torah's Chen, this is yours, plural, to an exclusively female group. What about theirs? If we're talking about them, I'm talking to you about them. If they are a plural group, they are all male or a mixture of male or female, this is Susam. Susam is their horse. If we don't know their gender, if they're all masculine, or if we know they're a mixed group, Susam. If they have a Torah, Torah Sam. It's their Torah, so just the mem ending. Now what if we know that they're female? That's right, you've guessed it, Susan. So this is their horse, they're all female, Susan. This is their Torah, they're all female, Torah San. There are also letters you can put on the end of a verb to tell you who did the verb. I'm not going to go through every single one of them because there's just too many combinations, but I'll go through the most important simple ones. So in the past tense, if I'm saying I did something, then we have the T ending. So I'd say, if I wanted to say I kept or I guarded, the word for keep or to guard is shamar. So if I want to say I guarded, I'd say ani shamarti. Now this isn't gendered, so anyone can say this, male or female, can say ani shamarti. E ending relates to ani, so ani shamarti, ani shamarti. But if the word is ata, which means you masculine, so you're a male and I'm saying to you, you guarded, then I'd say ata shamarta. But if you're female and you guarded, I'd say at shamart. You see how the ata shamarta relates, and the at shamart relates, and the ani shamarti relates. So even from the end of the verb, you can hear who's doing it. Here are the examples: ani shamarti, ata shamarta, and at shamart. What if you're a group? If you're a exclusively male group or a mixed group, the ending is tem. So instead of saying ata, we'd say atem, and the ending would be shamartem. So atem shamartem, and of course, you've guessed it, if the group is exclusively female, then the ending is ten with a nun at the end. So atem shamartem. Let's go through that again. Ani shamarti, ata shamarta, at shamart, atem shamartem, and aten shamarten. Go into this in a little bit more detail in the Torah class, but I think this gives you an idea of starting, that we can have letters to the ending of a noun to tell us who owns it, letters at the end of a verb to tell us who's doing it, and letters at the end of a word to tell us whether it's plural. Next time we're going to be looking at the binyamin. I'll explain all about it in the next video. Thank you very much for your time.